Hi everyone. Um, I haven't really slept all night, so I'm a little groggy today. I still can't sleep, so I decided to make kind of like a short video. Um, this one kind of talks about what happens when you pit one perception versus another type of perception. Um, some people, like I've said before, study, always try to study. Um, I haven't gotten too much into the reasons why people do it though. Um, because just because you study doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the correct thing. Um, Studying, like being a lifelong student, I've said this before, is a great thing. Uh, but that in itself has its issues too. Some people might do it to ridicule an idea. There's literally people who will get good at something, so they're able to scoff at it a lot a lot better. Um, that's on the individual, as in how you feel about that. Um, because you could see it in two different ways. You could see it as ridicule, or you could see it as criticism, like I don't know, like productive criticism. Um, some people will be interested in the subject because they really believe in it. They they deep down inside like believe in those ideas, and they wanna just, I don't know, just keep learning about it, expanding their mind. And there's others that seek like um like a broader like a broader understanding of really both sides of it, the criticism side and the belief side. And it's kind of like seeking a balance between the two. um a huge problem arises um with the perception of either side, um and that is that whatever you end up choosing, um whether it be you're gaining knowledge to criticize or ridicule on the more negative end, or it can be positive as well. Or you can criticize in a positive way, but or the 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 more believe, like you believe side, there could be problems to both those things, because either one of those things can change. um it's not only it can change, many ideas and theories have, I mean, just think of history, have changed. Imagine of how we thought about the world back when like Galileo was alive, when people were being burned at stakes. The the barbaric ideas we would have about science Um, back in those days, that was completely normal. That was empirical, and that includes um, that includes the other side too, the side of, well, I want to talk about Christianity mainly because um, or any religion really, because I tend to be a religious person. Um, I think I tend to be more of one of those that seeks balance, but I do believe, and even the religious end of it, like what atrocities have been committed because of religion in the name of it. Um, Still to this day, that includes the scientific end of it too. Still to this day. Um, as soon as something changes on either end of it, what happens to that balance that you thought you achieved? Is it balanced anymore? Is it raises a problem, and the problem is that things constantly change on both sides of the coin. Um, so it brings you to the question on which idea is the right idea, who's the correct person. Um, there's this famous professor. I think he was from Cambridge or something like that, somewhere in Europe. But he was famous for saying that if you got enough chimpanzees randomly typing on a on a typewriter, just randomly typing, they would eventually randomly like come up with like um with a long enough period of time, they would like formulate like all the great like literary works of that century and stuff. Um, by coincidence, after about 17 years, I think he used about 12 chimpanzees, just constantly typing. His students would monitor them. I think he would get daily reports. Um, there was some truth to this. There was one chimpanzee that actually wrote the "to be or not to be" line from Shakespeare, and that was a small number of chimpanzees. If you think of humans as, I don't know, just chimpanzees, some people may argue that maybe that's how some of these ideas came to be, and and that they really just came by chance. Um, I think we're a little smarter than chimpanzees, but I think the base argument there was that it just happened to be something we kind of just stumbled upon. Um, this has this has a great connotation, a negative connotation towards the religious end of things, because it says we pretty much all we believe in is just random thoughts that we have, not necessarily creation. Um, there's also this thought that God is all and all is God. I think that's from the East. And it's pretty much talking about how there's two sides to everything. There's no such thing as all good, and there's no such thing as all bad. Like all kind and all cruel. Personally speaking, as a Christian, God is all. That's what we're taught. In the Bible, it says God is light and there is no darkness in him. This is said by Jesus Christ. This is an impossible. Both of these ideas are an impossible thing to wrap your head around if you're a Christian, which I am, but also just religious. But both ideas do have a weakness. Because mostly at the end of the day, it comes down to perception. The perception of, am I going to believe this? The scientific end of it, a religious person would call it the darker end of it, or am I gonna maintain my religious beliefs? I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna perceive it how I want to perceive it, and I think that's what this video is really about. Perception. I've said this before when I was talking about like alcoholism and stuff. It's not all good. And then I was also talking about once I was like when I was like under the influence and stuff like that, it's not all bad either. Everything has its dichotomy, and I guess that applies to pretty much all ideas, I guess. It all falls under what you decide to believe in. I want to leave you with whatever you decide to believe in. I've said it before. Don't ever be ashamed. Don't ever be, how can I say this? Don't ever be afraid of other people's opinion. Just because you think outside of the box. Because I see myself like that quite a bit. Very few people. A lot of people follow my train of thought up to a certain point, and then I'm out there. But I don't know. Lately I don't really care anymore. So I encourage you guys to do that because it gives you this weird freedom to explore like your own mind. explore like how far you can take it, and quite frankly, it's liberating. Um, I completely encourage it. Um, it's gonna be really difficult at first. It's still not easy for me, by the way. Nothing's easy. Nothing ever becomes easy. That's the one thing I want people to get from these videos. That nothing becomes absolute. Just because you do something correctly doesn't mean everything's gonna be all sunshines and rainbows and flowers and that's not really how reality works. Um the funny thing is too that since reality is what you perceive it, I mean technically I can't do this, but technically you could view it as all sunshine and rainbows if you want. That'd be amazing. That'd be beautiful. But me, I want to call myself a realist a bit. And again, that's just me. That's how I think. Um, the only difference that has happened to me lately is that I'm trying to focus more on the good stuff. I still see the bad stuff, but I kind of like when you see a puddle and you walk around it. I kind of walk around it now. I I don't really let it bother me, but I want to reach that point where I'm able to walk through it and still not care. I don't know if you get the metaphor, but um yeah. Again, I'm gonna leave you with that. Confidence, patience, sacrifice. It's all stuff that seems boring and hard, and it is. But I don't know. I've noticed it's like brought my anxiety down. It's my depression. I don't know, a bunch of stuff, a bunch of negative stuff that I had. It's brought it all like down. It hasn't disappeared by any means. I still feel it. I'm just not as bothered by it anymore. I'm still bothered, but not as much. And I really do encourage you guys to try it. Um, yeah, please, if you can, subscribe to Answer Seeking channel. I want to try to grow this. I want to help. I want to help some people. If this makes any money, I'll document it all. Mm, the alcoholism is going great, by the way. Yesterday, I felt like drinking so bad. Like, I felt. I wasn't gonna, but I felt it so bad. Um, I didn't even sleep, to be honest. I'm like, I've been up for like more than 24 hours. I kinda. I'm kinda just gonna leave it here. We'll continue talking later.